Bisi stared at the dusty grounds of Queensfield College, a prestigious all-girls boarding school in the heart of Nigeria. It had been 2 weeks since she arrived at the school as a junior student. The towering trees surrounding the compound were meant to symbolize the strong roots of tradition and discipline, but for Bisi, they only cast shadows of fear and uncertainty. She missed home terribly. Boarding school life was nothing like the warm embrace of her family. Her mother had assured her that Queensfield was a place where she could grow, make lifelong friends, and become a strong, independent woman. What Bisi didn't know was that her time at Queensfield would bring about not strength, but a tragic end to her young life. Among the traditions at Queensfield College was the concept of the school mother. Each junior student was assigned a senior girl who would guide her through the challenges of boarding school life. For many, this arrangement was a blessing, a support system in an unfamiliar environment. For Bisi, however, this tradition would become the beginning of her nightmare. Her school mother, Adanna, was known throughout the school for her beauty and charisma. She was the kind of girl everyone admired, confident, intelligent, and seemingly caring. When Bisi was paired with her, she felt a mixture of excitement and fear. Adanna had a reputation for being strict, but Bisi hoped that meant she would help her navigate the rigors of boarding school. At first, things seemed normal. Adanna showed Bisi the ropes, how to manage her time between classes, navigate the dormitory's unspoken rules, and avoid trouble with teachers. But soon, Adanna's guidance took a darker turn. One evening, after lights out, Adanna came to Bisi's bed and asked her to join her in her corner of the dormitory. It wasn't unusual for school mothers to invite their wards over for late night chats, so Bisi, though tired, reluctantly agreed. Adanna sat her down and began talking, but the conversation quickly turned uncomfortable. She praised Bisi's beauty in a way that felt too intimate. "You are a very special girl, Bisi. You should feel lucky to be with me," she said, her hand brushing against Bisi's arm. Bisi tried to shake off the feeling of unease. She thanked Adanna for her kind words and attempted to return to her bed, but Adanna wouldn't let her leave. Over the next few days, Adanna's advances became bolder. She would touch Bisi inappropriately, whispering things to her in the dead of night. Bisi was terrified. She didn't understand why this was happening. She had heard rumors of some girls in the school who were involved in romantic relationships with other girls, but she had never imagined she would be dragged into such a situation. One night, after yet another unwanted encounter, Bisi finally summoned the courage to speak up. "Adanna, I don't want this," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Please stop." Adanna's expression darkened. Gone was the friendly, guiding schoolmother. In her place stood someone cold and calculating. "You don't get to tell me what to do," Adanna hissed. "I am your schoolmother. You belong to me." From that moment, Bisi's life at Queensfield became a living hell. Adanna began punishing Bisi in ways that were subtle at first, but grew more severe over time. She isolated her from the other girls, ensuring that Bisi was left out of group activities and friendships. She spread rumors, telling the other seniors that Bisi was disrespectful and disobedient. The once lively and joyful girl found herself ostracized, confused, and utterly alone. Meals became scarce for Bisi. Adanna would intentionally take her food away, sometimes under the guise of disciplining her for minor infractions. On other occasions, she forced Bisi to do all of her chores, making her scrub floors, wash clothes, and clean the dormitory while other girls rested. Bisi's body grew weaker with each passing day, but her spirit remained unbroken. She would not give in to Adanna's demands, no matter the cost. As the weeks turned into months, Bisi's health deteriorated. Her once bright eyes became dull, and her frame grew thin and frail. But the torment didn't stop. Adanna's punishments escalated. She would lock Bisi in the small storage room in the dormitory for hours, sometimes overnight, with no food or water. The darkness and isolation chipped away at Bisi's strength, but she held on to the hope that one day someone would notice and come to her rescue. But no one did. One fateful night, after Bisi had been locked in the storage room for what felt like an eternity, her body finally gave in. Weak from starvation, dehydration, and the relentless emotional and physical abuse, Bisi collapsed on the cold floor. She tried to scream for help, but her voice was barely a whisper. Her vision blurred, and as the darkness closed in around her, Bisi thought of her family, of her mother's promise that Queensfield would make her strong. But there was no strength left in her. By morning, Bisi was gone. The news of Bisi's death sent shockwaves through the school. At first, the administration tried to downplay the incident, claiming it was a tragic accident. But the other girls in the dormitory knew the truth. Whispers spread like wildfire, and soon, the truth about Adanna's cruel treatment of Bisi came to light. One of the junior students, unable to bear the guilt of staying silent any longer, reported everything she had seen to the school authorities. An investigation was launched, and Adanna was swiftly arrested. The once revered senior girl was now a pariah, her reputation shattered. She was charged with assault, abuse, and manslaughter, and the evidence against her was overwhelming. In court, Adanna showed little remorse, claiming that she was merely exercising her authority as a school mother, but her twisted sense of power had cost an innocent girl her life. The trial was swift, and Adanna was sentenced to a lengthy prison term. She was denied rehabilitation, and as she was led away in handcuffs, the students of Queensfield College were left to grapple with the tragedy that had unfolded within their walls. The administration promised reforms, but the damage had already been done. Bisi's death left a void that could never be filled. Her family, devastated by the loss of their beloved daughter, fought for justice in her name. They wanted the world to know what had happened to Bisi, to ensure that no other girl would suffer the same fate. But even as the legal system sought to hold Adanna accountable, the emotional scars remained. The students who had witnessed Bisi's suffering were haunted by the memories of her gradual decline, the way she had become a shadow of her former self under the weight of Adanna's cruelty. In the years that followed, Bisi's story became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers that could lurk even in the most respected institution. Queensfield College, once known for its traditions of excellence, now carried the stain of a dark and tragic chapter in its history. And somewhere in a quiet cemetery, a small gravestone bore Bisi's name, a reminder of a young life lost too soon, a life that could have been filled with hope if only someone had listened.